Good morning, or depending on when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always told, out of Voice of Radio. So today, well, we've got pretty important news, quite frankly. We've got some new cars to show off from Shiny Star V, that new, very exciting set, which is coming out in Japan that's got all the shiny Pokemon. You see, well, not to put too fine a point on it, we've got some new shiny Pokemon. Over on the official Pokemon YouTube channel in Japan today, they went and showed off a couple of new shiny Pokemon, but, well, frankly, you should all be a little bit excited about it. Here's why. So if we start off then, we can have a look at Snom. Snom looks lovely. Snom is a 50 HP basic. We love Snom, right? Snom is one of the best, most adorable Pokemon in, I would say in Generation 8, but really just in Pokemon in general. Snom is awesome. We love Snom. Here's the thing, though. If you look at this a little bit closer, it starts to look a little bit weird. Because, and this took me a moment, but the Snom that came out in Sword and Shield, the only Snom we've got so far, has a vanilla attack that does 10 damage for 1 colorless energy, and this doesn't. This is a new Snom. Now, shout out to lovely Antoine Boulet over on Twitter, Twanley, for providing our translation. And now don't get me wrong, right? We're talking about a 50 HP basic. We're not talking about some phenomenal, amazing Pokemon that is going to change the face of the game as we know it. But bearing in mind that Frostmoth is a pretty good Pokemon that's seeing a fair bit of play right now, frankly, this is pretty gosh darned awesome. What does it do? 1 water energy, call for family, search your deck for a basic Pokemon, and put it onto your bench. Frankly, ladies and gentlemen, even as far as call for family attacks go, it's not particularly phenomenal. We can do better. The Persimmon from Darkness Ablaze has more than double the HP, and for 1 colorless energy searches for 2 basic Pokemon, and puts them onto your bench. Nobody is going to play this particular Snom for this attack, or indeed generally, right? This is not a good Snom. No, that's not fair. This is not a good Pokemon. This is actually a good Snom, because if you put this side by side with the other Snom, I'm playing this 10 times out of 10. This is a billion times better than the other Snom, because you see, the other Snom, you might do 10 damage. It is rarely going to be any benefit to you. Whereas this Snom, you get another basic. But what's really good here is you've got 1 Snom. It's your turn. Your opponent's going to attack next turn. Get another Snom. And unless your opponent's got some way of KOing 2 50 HP Pokemon at once, there are some ways, but they're few and far between, you're going to have a Snom ready for your next turn. It's a bad Pokemon. It's a good Snom. And if you want to be playing a Frostmoth deck, you're probably going to want to be playing this Snom. Now, the other one that's been revealed is Thwackey, and again, initially it looks kind of fine and generic and alright, until you realise that this is a brand new Thwackey. We have seen 2 Thwackey so far in the Pokemon TCG. Both came out in Sword and Shield, and this isn't either of them. This is a new one. Now, truth be told, it does have 10 less HP than either of those 2, which is very, very sad. Same weakness to fire, same retreat cost of 2. Hey, air balloon. But it's got 10 less HP. But there are 2 things that I like about this Thwackey above the others. Firstly, it's got an attack for 1 energy that does 20 damage. And again, no one's getting hideously excited about an attack for 1 energy that does 20 damage. What we are getting excited about is the fact that we don't have a single energy attack on the other 2 that does any damage. Now, to be fair, number 12 from Sword and Shield as opposed to 13 does let you switch one of your opponent's bench with their active, and that is actually a really useful attack, because you might be able to strand something active and buy yourself a turn or 2. It is definitely better than the other one we've seen so far. I like it. But this one's got an ability that says if you have a stadium in play, this Pokemon has no retreat cost. Though it is important to note that attacks like this we've seen in the past, it is if you've got a stadium in play, i.e. if your opponent has a stadium in play, this doesn't work, and you won't get the free retreat. And essentially, when I'm deciding whether to play this Thwackey or not, it's not as easy as the Snom. The Snom is just better. What I think we're looking at here is, do you want the free retreat? Because you're going to be playing Turffield Stadium, right? That's a given. You're playing an Evolution Grass deck. You're going to play Turffield Stadium and it lets you search for an Evolution Grass Pokemon. That's a given, all right? It's going to happen. The question is, would you rather have the free retreat, or would you rather have the chance of dragging one of your opponent's Pokemon active? Honestly, most of the time, I'd rather have the free retreat. Because you go first, you got a Grookey in the active, your opponent has a turn. As long as they don't get a KO, you evolve to Thwackey, free retreat, put whatever you want active. I do think this is a better Thwackey than the other one. I think both of these Pokemon are actually better than the other counterparts we've got. So they're the cards and they're what they do, but the question this brings up to us, and it is a very important question, what does this tell us about Shiny Star V? Because this new set, Shiny Star V, is basically the equivalent of GX Ultra Shiny. That is a Japanese set that did all the GXs in shiny form, etc. a couple of years ago. This is essentially the Sword and Shield version of the Sun and Moon GX Ultra Shiny. So what does this tell us? Well, GX Ultra Shiny gave us evolution lines. So, for instance, we got ourselves both Wooper and Quagsire. We got ourselves Thwackey and Frogadier. Although, interestingly enough, we didn't always get the Stage 2s. Stage 1s, we tended to get both. Stage 2s, we got some. We got Magnemite, Magneton, and Magnezone. But, for instance, we didn't get a Greninja, which was a little bit strange, and we didn't get a Decidueye would be another one. Hey-ho. So, we're generally getting evolution lines here, and these tended to be widely played Pokemon. Quagsire had the awesome ability Wash Out that let you move water energy from your bench Pokemon to your active. And then, Magnezone's another example I gave. It let you attach as much metal energy as you like during your turn. That was very, very cool. And what they generally gave us were evolution lines of shiny Pokemon. By the way, I should make this super clear because I've probably already got a bunch of comments down below. The Pokemon that didn't get the shinies were because they got GXs. So no, we didn't get Decidueye, but we did get Decidueye GX. And we didn't get Greninja, but we did get Greninja GX. I should have made that nice and clear. What I mean is, talking about the littler Pokemon, we generally got evolution lines, and where there were GXs, we got the GX. I hope that's nice and cleared up. So we're expecting evolution lines here. And the thing is that Rillaboom is a really good card. It lets you search a deck for 2 grass energy and attach them to one of your Pokemon. And Frostmoth we've already mentioned as a Pokemon that lets you attach as much water energy as you like to your benched water Pokemon. So these are 2 Pokemon that I would happily have bet that we will be getting shiny versions of in Shiny Star V. But now what's the deal? Because I think Snom and Thwackey are better than the alternatives, I've already said that. So are we going to be getting shiny versions of widely played Pokemon like Rillaboom and Frostmoth, but with better versions of the evolving Pokemon, or at least different versions? That seems to be the case. It seems like we're getting shiny versions of the pre-evolutions that are different. But I've got to believe we're getting the Rillaboom and Frostmoth from Sword and Shield with the really good abilities, because they're the ones that everybody plays. And if that is the case, and I'm going to go on record now and say I think that is the case, that we're getting new versions of shiny Pokemon pre-evolutions with shiny versions of widely played good evolved Pokemon, that's awesome, because that didn't happen in GX Ultra Shiny. We got straight shiny reprints of evolution lines, including widely played Pokemon. And I was cool with that. But given that Snom and Thwackey to me seem like upgrades over what... Snom inarguably is, as far as I'm concerned. Thwackey, I'm sure it is, but I can see why you might argue the other one. But I don't personally, but I can see why you would. This seems amazing. Now, of course, it does open up the question of where do we get these Pokemon? Like, where do we get them outside of Japan? Because we've talked about the shinies and where they might come in, but the fact of the matter is, we're going to want this Snom in a Frostmoth deck. I believe it's going to be in Sword and Shield 5, the Urshifu set over here. I believe that's how we're actually going to go about getting it. I can't promise that, but I think we will get regular versions of them. Are there regular versions? I assume there are. I believe there are. Though I cannot tell you for absolute certain and definite that there are. But I do believe that that is the case, and I do believe that is going to happen. So this to me is incredibly exciting. And of course, with reveals starting today, the set isn't out for about a month. Are we going to get kind of like a month worth of new shiny Pokemon reveals? I would be down for that. And you know I would cover them all on here because that's kind of my bag. It's kind of what I do. But this would make me very, very happy indeed. Either way, we've seen more shiny Pokemon. They are new Pokemon that we haven't seen before, or at least new cards. And that, to me, is extremely exciting. Somehow, Shiny Star V actually has just gotten more exciting this morning. And I frankly did not see that coming. But as always, I'd like to know what you think. What do you think about the new Snom? What do you think about the new Thwackey? Do you think we're going to be getting widely played Pokemon, but coming through with new versions of the pre-evolutions? Or do you think these are different? And for most of them, we're just going to get straight reprints. Or do you think we're not getting the good Rillaboom and Frostmoth, we're getting new ones? I'd love to know, ladies and gentlemen. I would very much like to know. And you know that as soon as we get more information, videos will be on this channel. So if you're not subbed and checking regularly and watching all the videos, well, you know, might I be so bold as to suggest that maybe you should be. Go nuts in the comment section, ladies and gentlemen, but be nice. And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at The Wassy, and Twitch for some live action at twitch.tv/PTCG Radio. If you want to support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and all that good stuff, head on over to patreon.com/PTCG Radio, where you can do exactly that. But by far the most important thing as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.